Welcome to Slasher Sunday. So we are going to cover a film that was recommended to us by one of y'all. And I saw in the comments, and hey, this is why leaving us little recommendations here and there pay off. We don't watch everything people recommend to us, but every once in a while I come across one and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
why not?
Yeah.
You know, they sold it well enough, and I was like, we need one. There's 52 Sundays a year. We got a lot to fulfill, to fill this
yes.
This amount of days that we do this. Obviously, we don't do it every week, and sometimes we take hiatuses from this for way too long. But we get to it when we can.
We do our best.
We do our best. Okay.
Yes.
So, this, I don't remember who recommended it. I apologize, but you'll know who you are, and you can tell us below you were the one.
Yes.
We're going to get 5 people being like, I told you. It was me. I think I'll remember it when I see it. So I'm going to call out the liars. All right, so this movie is called, bear with me, Dead Dudes in the House. That's what it is on Amazon. On IMDb, it's known as The House on Tombstone Hill. And then also on IMDb, the also known as is The Dead Come Home. So this has a ton of titles. And this is from a director that literally has a film that has the longest title in the history of cinema. And the day of the dawn of the dead or the night of the day of the dawn of the it just keeps going. It's ridiculous. So look that up. It is the longest title. And this one has the most amount of titles. Jesus, there's so many. Now, what I find funny about movies like this came out in 1989. This is the 80s. This is the slasher craze. This is kind of the coveted, beloved, untouchable 80s that everyone is always being like, why can't it be like this anymore? Why are horror movies so bad today? There's so much shit in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And people have these rose-colored nostalgia glasses on for the 80s because they have some titles like The Thing and
every
the titles.
era has trash in it.
Yes.
And every era has masterpieces in it.
Yes.
So you can
drives
find both.
Me absolutely nuts. Every time I hear people just praising the 80s, I sit back and think, do you only watch fucking 10 movies? And the one thing, and I've said this many, many times, and I'll continue to keep saying it, the one difference between now and then is their trash, the 80s or the 70s, is way more entertaining than the trash of today. Trash of today is just trash. There's nothing interesting about really, really bad movies today. Almost ever.
Yeah.
The 80s trash movies, some are super entertaining and some are just trash.
Yeah.
Right? There's more charm in even the trashy trash ones in the 80s too, though.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like if you give it some time, there probably will be bad movies of today that are, the B movies that we think of from the 80s that are entertaining but bad. Honestly, one of the ones that I think of, and I don't know, maybe most people will agree with me, I feel like Twilight kind of falls into that category for me.
I don't think anyone on this channel is going to agree with you.
No, in the, it's a bad movie, but, it's, the nostalgia and, I don't know, there's, a charm to it.
I think...
You don't think anybody is going to agree with me on that at all?
Very few.
Okay, raise your hand if you think that Twilight is an entertaining movie.
I see your hand. I'm just saying that this channel is not really geared towards Twilight fans. And that's fine. If you're a Twilight fan, you're welcome here, of course. I don't care that you like Twilight. I don't think the first Twilight's all that terrible. I think
it's not that terrible, but it has that it has that kind of the bad acting and the drama and the certain
you are talking about something so wildly different to me though. That is a freaking $80 million film I'm talking
Sure,
about
yeah, it's not
2-cent
a low
films
budget,
that were
yeah.
thrown together on the fly to
Yeah.
make a quick buck off of marks, off of horror fans.
I mean, that's fair. It's not a low budget slasher.
No, it isn't.
But I just think of it sometimes in that kind of context.
Yeah. So everyone really needs to like chill the fuck out on the modern horror sucks. It really, really doesn't. Either you have shit taste, you're lying, or you're not really watching anything. Those are the only three options to me. I don't see an argument that horror is trash today. Anybody who says it in the comments I just can't take seriously.
Oh, yeah.
I just can't do it. We watch tons of great horror films every year. And you're telling me that you disagree with like all of them? Every one of them? They're all trash? Come the fuck on. When you hold things like this on a pedestal, get the fuck out of here. This movie is terrible. It's entertaining to a degree, but dude, to compare this to like Hereditary or something is insanity to me, that people are like, oh, film today is terrible and there's nothing good coming out today, when you have like Oppenheimer and these fucking like amazingly well-crafted films. It's asinine to my brain to even listen to modern critics.
So do you think that this is kind of, is it like a Doom Asylum where it is intentionally supposed to be kind of comedic and stuff, or? I
think that it's playful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't really get a read on the like intentional tone, I guess, for this film. I was having a hard time like kind of pinning down like what
was this movie setting out to be scary?
I think so.
I can't imagine.
I don't know though.
But
there's a good amount of like gore in this, which makes me think that it was some like, because like I don't know, like the gore gags don't feel
comedic.
They don't feel comedic to me. They feel serious.
But the gore gags in this aren't. There's a couple good gore gags.
I really applaud them for the attempt at the gore in this. I think that there's a really good attempt made. I think there's a couple that are pretty decent, and I'm glad that they did include them.
I'd say like there's only 3 standouts here for me as far as the gore, unless you're going to remind me of one I'm not thinking of. But you've got the guy who gets his hands chopped off as he's hanging from the window. The hands getting cut off looks good and then he falls and the hands are like plopped down. He like, takes the machete and like knocks him off the windowsill onto him and then throws the pipe through him. The pipe thing is fine. It's funny. It's whatever. You don't really see it happen. So that one's fine. But so the hands getting cut off looks good. And then the guy getting like literally eaten by the window like he's in freaking Monster House, the animated movie, but more R-rated. That looked good. That's the best kill in the movie, easily, for me. And then you have the grandma, the killer of the movie, gets her head cut off and thrown across the room, and then it kind of like plops and moves around and then is like screaming, and that, and it's a pretty simple effect, especially since you can see the floorboards underneath the head moving because the actor's moving his shoulders. Because I can only assume that's a guy in a
fairly certain
female getup with the most horrible old person makeup.
Yeah, I mean those are like the big gore, but then there's like like the leg getting chopped off, and like we see the aftermath of that, and then the girl with the scissors in the back. Like I just mean like there's an attempt at like there's tons of B movies that we watch, and like of these slashers,
that happens off
it's
screen.
all off screen. It's all like a strangle or something. Mm-hmm. So like I just felt like there's a lot of blood, but yeah, I mean that's the gore is more of those things that you described, and just like in general, like I feel like they really tried with the makeup and everything. Although the dead people look like. I mean, whatever. They just have, like, white face paint on.
Yeah.
Plus, but, like, yeah, I mean, like, however they died and stuff, like, the one guy has, like, his head, like, the stitches or not the stitches, but, like, the slice in his head.
Yeah, so...
like, didn't they do one of the, like, saw bits went into that guy's head?
Yeah.
Did we see that on screen? I don't remember.
But we
saw after.
Yeah, we
was,
see like a
in his
little bit of
head.
an aftermath. They like the the prosthetics where the knife's like stuck through the chest or whatever.
Yeah, and the
we
grandma
see it.
pulling the thing out of her head too.
Yeah, but I mean, it's shown sort of on screen, sort of off screen.
Well, they're just getting creative because they can't show.
They don't have a lot of budget.
Like, yeah.
I think they do well with it.
Yeah, I do too. I would say that that's probably one of the best parts of the movie for me is their, I felt like they really did try with the practical effects in this.
The problem with the film for me, for sure, is the repetitious nature of
I agree.
It just feels like the same thing endlessly.
Yes, I agree.
Looped. And it's like they move from one room to the next,
Yeah.
and one person is separated from the pack. They run into somebody. That person is dead. They either announce that they're dead, or they trick them into making them think they're still alive, and then they end up killing them. And then we rinse, lather, repeat, and they whittle it down. And they whittle it down so far that they're like, wait, we need more people, so let's bring a couple extra kids into the mix.
Right.
Just to, add some bulk to the cast count. Again.
Yeah.
So it's very, very repetitious. And it was
agree.
like, okay, come on, something else.
Yeah,
let's go.
It gets very repetitive and it gets very kind of boring at that point because you're like, I just know what to expect.
I was bored towards the end for sure.
I agree, I was too. But essentially, what this is there's a group of kids, young adults, maybe 20s. I don't know really how old they're supposed to be.
Ages.
They're in college, I think, is what we're supposed to know because one of the guys has a Georgetown sweater.
Yeah, the buffer guy with the blue shirt who's my age.
Yeah.
I don't know. They brought along with them their dad, I guess.
Yeah. One of them buys this house that is
sight unseen, by the way.
Yeah, he's buying it to flip it, essentially. He wants to fix it up and, sell it for more money. And supposedly some other guy already bought it and started working on it, so he thinks that it's going to be an easier job, and so him and all his friends show up to this house.
When they get in that house, that thing is fucking trash.
And all of them, they only bring 3 toolboxes with them.
This is the most
no equipment
insane,
or no supplies.
Nothing.
This just is the tools.
Absolutely fucking insane. This is absolutely fucking insane. The guy buys a property, sight unseen. Then he brings a carpenter and other helpers, construction workers, whatever. They're all his friends, coincidentally, as well. But whatever. He brings these people along with him to fix up the house. And from what we can tell, the intention is that they're there to fix the place up, and when they leave, it will be done.
Yeah, they act like they're going to do it all in a day.
They act like they're not leaving there until that place is done.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
None of them have ever seen the place.
No.
All they bring along with them are their toolboxes. We can see their cars. They don't have any trucks. They don't have anything. They didn't come. They didn't measure anything out. They didn't assess anything. They didn't bring any supplies with them that I can see. The guy's like, go get me my sawhorse. And I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
You need wood for a sawhorse. You have no wood. And wood for what? Are you going to do drywall? Are you going to do fucking you need to literally bring in assessors. You have to look at the house. You have to try to figure out what needs to be redone. You need to model it out, right? You need to go and you need to draw blueprints and figure out when it's that bad. You really have to bring in you're gonna get the floor plans. You're gonna have you're gonna go pick out the tile. You're gonna go pick out the wallpapers or the amount of drywall that needs to be replaced or what. There's so many things wrong with this house, right? The plumbing, the electrical. I mean, the guy even says that there's no electricity, and then he's like, yeah, there is, and every light in the house is on. By the way, throughout the movie, I don't know if that's because it comes on, whatever it is, but
I think it's
oh, I think they must have moved some wires around.
I don't know what that means.
Power is turned on to the location, or it's not. You don't just move wires around and the power comes on. That's not how electricity works in houses. You have to have the power company turn the power on, and then that power comes to the house, and then somebody has to be paying that bill because when the power is running to that house, it's being used, even if it's at a very low ampage. So it's just the whole concept behind them showing up with 3 toolboxes.
I think it's
and we're
just
gonna
supposed
fix this
to
house.
show. I mean, yeah,
hilarious.
it's really funny. I can only assume that it's just like they're naive and they just don't know what they're getting into.
One of them
I
is
guess.
a literal carpenter.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't. I don't know. He should be the one, and he's the asshole though. Like before they even get into the house, they find a tombstone.
Yeah.
That is like, you know, creeping them out, and the guy
and
is
find
like,
what?
And then they find a noose,
Yeah.
like an actual like just noose on a tree. But the reaction to the tombstone is so funny because he's like, "Oh, let's get rid of it," and he like breaks it. And they're
which
all
is like what lets the curse loose, maybe.
No, because she already
like brings
in
it
there,
up in
I
the
think.
fucking house and like lays it out on the bed, and that's when things kind of start to get weird. So I don't know if that's what that means, like because they desecrated her tombstone.
Maybe
that she's getting vengeance or something.
But it's like the boys later talk about how the house is like,
it's been haunted.
I don't know. I don't freaking know. We'll get into that because I really don't understand a whole lot of like what is going on with the haunting stuff.
There's nothing to understand here.
Yeah, but I just like that when he breaks the tombstone, everyone's reaction is just like, dude, like why would you do that? Which is very true. It's like, yeah, why would you do that? There's literally no need to break it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they find the noose and they're like, oh, let's just leave it until later. And it's like, I mean, the tombstone, not so much. Like, there's plenty of old houses that, like, they have, like, you know, especially if they're really old, like, there is a chance that there's people buried on the property. Like, if they're in this rural area or something.
Yeah, sure.
So that's not that weird. But the noose hanging in the tree is definitely kind of, it's crazy.
It's the thinnest rope I've ever seen for a noose in my life. It was like dental floss. It was crazy. Usually in movies it's really like heavy gauged. It's like big thick rope. And this tiniest rope you ever seen.
Super small.
It was super funny when I saw it. I was like, really? Is that the best rope you could find on set for this? Because they even bring rope in with them in a different part in the film. It's thicker rope. And I'm like, why didn't you use that?
I don't know. This is also one of those movies where like everybody's acting is like,
oh my god,
bad, and like, but they are trying, which makes it even like worse because you're like, oh, like, and I mean, is it possible that some of these are like first takes? Probably, but it's also like just like you can really tell they're very amateur and inexperienced actors because they're like not reacting to each other. They're like half of the time they're just saying their lines and like kind of trying to make it like, you know, have some emotion or whatever, and then the other half is just them kind of like saying it without emotion.
And that is one of the areas amongst many others in older film versus newer film. People are much more critical of modern film than they are of old films like this, where they watch these and there's this kind of like charm to bad acting. And then I watch movies now that, you know, even if they have great acting, I constantly get told in the comments, the acting in this was bad. I mean, I had someone tell me that Hereditary would have been a masterpiece. Everything in the movie was amazing, except for the acting. The acting was terrible.
Yeah, that's a really
and I'm just
crazy
like,
claim.
What are you?
Like,
what the fuck are you talking about? But and they were like, I'm not going to argue with you. I know good acting, and that's terrible acting. The whole movie is
acting is, That's really insane that anybody would think that.
But if you saw acting like this in a movie today,
oh my god,
people would like, lose their fucking minds.
Like in a big budget, like a movie like that you'd go and see at the theater.
Even smaller budgeted movies, I feel like get harped on for bad acting that's nowhere near this level of bad.
We've definitely seen some acting.
They find it funny. And then in modern films, they don't find it funny or charming.
Which is weird, because like, you just watched like this found footage film the other day that I would say the acting in that was awful.
Oh, yeah.
And it was similar to the... Probably worse, because they were like... Yeah, but...
Fucking hated
this acting is like kind of like Troll 2 acting to me. It's like the sister... That's what it's not that bad because... But it is close to me. I felt like it was pretty close on a lot of levels.
I don't know if... Troll 2 is a special kind of bad.
I know that has
'cause
the
it's
charm and it
so
has like
entertaining.
the entertainment, but I'm saying like the line delivery in some of the like characters, some of the actors in this reminded me of the line delivery.
I get what you're
in
saying. I just Troll 2 has such a special place in my heart for the acting, because while no one in this has as much like commitment to the material. Like Troll 2, what makes Troll 2 so special is that the actors in that are really trying. And when I say really trying, I mean like over trying.
Yeah.
They're
overacting
to the nth degree because they're really
there
trying
was some
to
overacting in this.
There is
for
some.
Sure.
But the scene with the sister working out and talking to her boyfriend about taking him on the trip, and his dad's gonna eat his little nuts and all that shit. That's like my favorite bad acting of all time. The sister in Troll 2 is just legendary to me.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
So I get what you're saying.
I think that this doesn't
Troll
have the charm of Troll 2. That's not what I'm trying to say at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get inside and then like they're locked in. One dude goes off to get beer because the carpenter is like, I have to have beer. And they kind of are giving him shit about it. Like, this one guy is kind of like, you can't go one day without it. Which I'm like, is he an alcoholic?
Yes.
Like, is that what they're saying?
Yes. If you bring a carpenter on
he's
site
like,
and he's like, I literally cannot work without being drunk,
yeah,
he needs to be fired then and there.
Let me drink and use power tools.
Let's see what happened when OSHA just shows up.
So they send one guy off to get beer, and then the rest of them go inside, and they end up getting like locked in. Like the house is like kind of alive, and it shuts them in. And I like the stuff with them trying to break out of the windows and stuff. Like there was like plexiglass or like plastic something on there.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's pretty good effect.
Cool, yeah.
And then they had like the shutters like doing like crazy stuff, and that stuff was cool.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect. Like I do like that the house is keeping them inside.
Yeah.
Because I always enjoy when the house, like the haunted house, is a character. It's not just the ghosts. And then we get introduced to this old lady. But this actually is before they get introduced to the old woman before they find out that they're locked in the house.
Yeah.
And that actor, I don't know. I did not like the old woman performance at all.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was really funny, but I hated it.
The lip thing?
Like, because you know how older people, like, if they kind of, like, quiver?
Yeah.
Like, their muscles are sort of, like, they kind of shake, But
Yeah.
it was, like, so overacting to me. And, like, the lip thing was, like, driving me crazy.
I loved it.
The voice and, like, the laugh and everything, it's very, very over the top. Very much like, this isn't an old person. And we kept thinking about Pearl from X. Because I was like, oh, man. That's not an old person. That's old person makeup.
To compare X to this film,
it just reminded me because she
I get
looks
it.
like her.
I know, that's what I was the one that said it.
Yeah.
Right when this started, I was like, is this going to be like freaking X with Pearl, where she's the old woman killing? And yes, that's exactly what this is. This is one of the rare films where it's a slasher film, and the antagonist of the film is a very old woman. I mean, I can't name many movies where that's the case, and this is one of them.
She's like an old woman ghost, though, or like
Yeah.
a demon or something. She's not just like a living old woman that's killing people.
I literally have no idea what's going on.
So
in this
yeah,
movie.
the paranormal aspect, like why everything is happening, I don't get it. And what I was gonna say when you're talking about like the Renslaw repeat of like people die and then they come back as ghosts, all of them act the exact same when they come back. Like they're all kind of like acting crazy and evil, and I'm like instantly, and so I'm like, are they supposed to be like possessed?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? Because it sort of was also giving me like Evil Dead vibes a little bit, but I was like, but
That's
I don't understand. Like, why are they possessed?
So their
possessing
souls,
them?
when they're killed in the house, their souls are damned.
Okay.
And they're like instantly brought back as villainous. Like they're soulless.
Evil. Yes.
Right? So like I think what happens is they die and their souls leave.
And then their bodies get like possessed.
Yes, their bodies
That's
and,
what I thought
and like
was kind of
their
happening.
personalities sort of retain, but they're soulless now. So they're just evil because without your soul, without your morality, that's what leaves when you die.
I was just
and
so
they're
confused about
instantaneously, not only are they instantaneously evil, but they're instantaneously put back together, which is super fascinating.
That is definitely like a budget issue, because they're just like, we don't have like the means, like, and also, you know, like the one guy that gets cut in half, they're like, well, we need you to like go after people and stuff.
I think it's cool.
I
think it's cool.
thought it was fine too.
It's
like when his hands are like, you know, stitched back on, and the guy's guts. Like,
Same
I was
thing
fine
with the head.
that.
He's got like stitches across his head, and I'm like, who stitched him? That's what I'm saying.
I think that the like,
we don't see anyone stitching anybody, so I don't understand who's putting them back together. We do not ever see that. But this is a very unique film in that way of like, you know, in slasher movies, when people are killed, they're killed and they're gone. Yeah. Right? And it's very rare
that they come back.
In this capacity where they're like corporeal. They're not ghosts per se. Their full on physical bodies are still there. So it's more of like demonic entities, demonic possession. Like you said, like with Evil Dead. Evil Dead is a much more apt comparison here. Because that is what's happening. We have the framework of a slasher film.
Yes.
But we have the undead. This is like a zombie ghost
demon
compilation.
Yeah, I thought that stuff was pretty cool. But yeah, definitely like, so like the grandma, they're all awful. We haven't even talked about like
how they treat the grandma when they see her.
They're like, hey, get out of here! Like, you're not supposed to be here, old woman.
So mean
like,
to her.
Oh, like she looks. It's almost like the
they're so
like they're so awful. And then like the
you're
guy,
thinking Troll too.
Yeah, like
the homeless guy. Ugh. That's so fucking.
But that's
funny,
like how they act, and I'm just like, what's up, dude? What? The main guy, the guy that like bought the house, like he goes off and is like, I'll find her or whatever, and then that's when they find out that they're like locked in the house and stuff, and his girlfriend is like really awful and is just like, leave her, like she probably got out or whatever, and you're just like, how did she leave if you guys can't leave?
This is Linda and Steve, I think, right?
I don't know their names.
I think Linda. She's the cute one.
No. The brunette
the brunette. I don't know.
And then the guy with the glasses in the Georgetown is like the guy. So the first guy that dies, right? His acting when he died, I was like, I mean, like, I was already worried, but I was like, I don't know about that. Because I feel like his acting when he died, like when he comes back, is one of the worst.
I'm going to film you when you die. And I'm going to put it online and be like, did this feel real to you?
No. I'm not talking about it feeling real. I'm just talking about, I was like, he's giving Jack Torrance. Like, is he doing that on purpose? Like, are they, like, actually true? Because there's so many times that they're like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to kill you.
I'm just going to bash your brains right
That's what they're
doing.
They're, like, doing this, and I don't know.
No, I agree. The ghosts are interesting in that way, though, or the demons, or whatever you want to call them. The Geemans? The
Geemans?
The Geemans? No.
Or the Dosts.
Yeah, I was going to say the Deosts?
The Dosts.
The Dosts. So the Dosts in this are like, oh, we're, you know, if the person... It's weird. Some of them announce that they're dead. Like so one of them comes, like, the girl comes across her boyfriend, and there's blood everywhere. And she's like, what happened? He's like, well, I'm dead, of course. And she's like, yeah, right, bullshit. Enough with the practical joke. And he's like, why would there be blood everywhere if I didn't die? Oh, actually, no, it's the little lady that's like, I killed him. And she's like, yeah, whatever. Right, but then there's other times, I'm sorry, so that's a different example. But there also is times where the ghost, I think it's or the Dosts, I apologize.
Yes, it's all right.
The Dosts, this is so stupid, I can't call them this, but I'm going to. Sometimes announce that they're dead to the people and let them in on the fact. Yeah. And then other times they're sly about it and they're like, no, I'm totally fine. Because there's that girl who wakes up with like, and I think that's Linda. And she's like, oh, I'm fine. And her face is all like super white. And then she like walks and then she has scissors in her back.
Yeah, like the guy that
what is happening? Sorry, we have a fight going on right below us. Both of them are about to become Dosts.
The guy that gets his hands cut off, that like leaves to get beer and then comes back. Yeah, he's one of the ones that is kind of like, I'm dead, like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I don't really know why some of them do that, and then others, like, because he didn't try and kill him. He was just like, oh, like, it's your turn.
No, yeah,
next.
he's like, I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon, buddy. And
so
then
some don't try to
leaves.
kill you, some do. Some announce their ghosts, some don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. It's a total
super
hodgepodge of ideas there. So I don't really understand what's going on with any of these ghosts.
Yeah, so the first guy dies, gets killed by her, and then she comes down and is like, he's dead. He's dead, I tell you. And they're like, bullshit, like, no way.
Yeah.
And then the next person to die, I think, is that guy that left and came back, right?
You mean the guy with the MAGA hat?
Yeah, we thought he was wearing a MAGA. It's a Burger World hat
Yeah,
instead,
from a distance,
but it's
though,
like a big red, like,
with white
hat
lettering.
with the white letters.
Yeah, it was like...
We were laughing at that. Yeah, so he, like,
he's
comes
a time
back,
traveler.
right? He's, like, throwing, like, rocks because he can't get in the house. And then a window opens up on, like, the second floor. So, of course, he, like, goes over and gets a ladder. And starts crawling up it and then falls. And that's when, like, the grandma comes and, you know,
imagine...
cuts his hands off so he falls.
Imagine going to work on a project.
Yeah.
With a bunch of guys who have gotten way in over their head.
Yeah.
You don't seem to know, all of these people all that well. You are then sent out like an errand boy to retrieve alcohol for the alcoholic on staff.
Right.
You leave. When you come back, no one's responding to your knocking. No one is responding in any way. There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Yeah.
And then a window opens up on the third floor.
Oh, yeah, it is like...
And your fucking, reaction to that is, I'm going to go get a ladder that only goes up about 2.5 stories on this house. I'm going to climb that. Then I'm going to try to work my way up by pulling myself up into the window, which is super fucking dangerous. Also that he can what? Go inside and give some asshole his beer so he can work with a bunch of incompetent people he barely knows? Like, who's putting their life at risk? It would have made more sense had the window opened up and he heard screams for help and he was trying to like, oh shit, I need to help. Then he goes and gets a ladder.
I thought he was friends with them. He knows them.
He knows them, but it doesn't seem like they're all that good friends. When he's like being this errand boy of like, go get me a fucking sixer and here's like $2 to get. And he's like, this isn't even enough money. He's like, get the fuck out of here. That's not good friends. And there's nothing happening there that would make him want to stay.
That guy's like a total, because the carpenter dude is just a total asshole to everybody. Like, there's multiple times where it's like the doors get stuck and he's like acting like, all macho and stuff.
Even if that's the case, right?
I agree, though.
Dawn's the dickhead.
I think that they should have had someone yelling for help inside.
Even if it was me and your sister and, my kids and everyone you love.
Yeah.
That were there in that house.
Yeah.
And no one was responding to you knocking on the door. And a window on the third floor opened up. Would you then go grab a ladder to climb in through the third story window?
No.
No fucking way would you ever do that.
He's a dumb... He's a dumb...
What's the thought process here? They opened up the window, turned on the light because that's the only access point to the house?
I think he doesn't... I think he's like, they don't know I'm here. And they didn't realize he was outside, so he's like, I'm gonna crawl in that way. It doesn't make a lot of sense at all. I agree with you. I think that's having somebody screaming for help or something and being like, oh, I'm trapped in here, the doors won't open or whatever. The grandma pretending for it. I don't know.
But this is that, total trope that people make fun of where they're like, people in horror movies make dumb decisions.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the epitome.
Because, the ladder isn't even tall enough.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he has to stand on the very top
that's
thing.
That's what I said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's super dangerous. It's not even tall enough to get all the way to the window.
Yeah, it's a dumb decision.
It's insane. It's super unbelievable.
And he dies
no one would ever do it. Of course he did.
He dies. He falls. His hands are cut off, and then she, javelins a freaking pipe into his chest.
Yeah.
And like does her little creepy giggle.
Yeah. It's insane. Of course.
Yeah. And then so then after that, like they're all like trying to go through the house and stuff, and this is when like the kind of, I don't know if he's like the nerdy one, but he's like the guy that's dating. I can't tell if they're dating. I think they're dating. The girl in the pink like sweater that you thought was really cute.
Linda.
Yeah.
Linda and Steve is the couple.
Okay. So like they get separated, and that's when he sees the old woman, and he's like, and they're all like, kill her, kill her. And then she goes, she's like...
They're literally just screaming, kill like, this old lady.
Kill
they don't know
her.
anything about it.
No, I don't really know why
they don't even believe that she killed anybody. And then as soon as she shows up, they're yelling, kill the old woman.
And then that's when he sees his friend who's like, oh, like, it'll be your turn next and stuff. And then, of course, like, they do a couple of these shots in this movie that I kind of liked where they have, like, one was
something
with
in
him.
The foreground,
yeah, they had him, like, super close to the camera, like, laying on the ground. And then she's, like, in the background, the grandma with, like, her axe or whatever it was. And I thought that looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I was pleased with that. Like, I do feel like they really tried with this movie. Like, very much in like kind of all aspects, so like I'll definitely give it to them there, because we've watched many B movies where we're just like, bro, like come on, just try a little bit. But I do feel like they were really like playing around and trying things out. So then like when he dies and then his girlfriend like passes by the room that like the ghost of him is in, and he's like, I'm hurt, I can't get up.
Yeah.
And she's just like, are you hurt bad? Like,
this is such
I don't know
insane
what that
scene.
I don't know if she's supposed to be
like
suspicious of him, because she's not acting suspicious.
No.
She doesn't look suspicious. She's
not running to his aid.
No. She literally just keeps looking back to where the other people
weird.
Went, kind of like, oh, like they're ahead of me, like I don't want to go in there alone.
Yeah, right.
But then he's like, I'm hurt, like blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't understand.
It's
because then she
such a
goes
bizarre
in and is
scene.
like, I'm so glad you're okay.
It's so weird.
And she sees that he's all like cut up and stuff.
And she has like very little reaction to seeing how many cuts and how much blood is on him and everything.
She should
and
be
I'm like,
freaking
she
out.
Should be flipping.
She should be like, oh my god, like how did you survive? Like blah 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 blah.
Like what happened to you? What is all of this? No reaction almost at all to any of these very obvious. And then he has one that's not only been cut through his whole head, but it's been stitched. Like, she's not curious as to why he has wounds that have been stitched back together when she just saw him 5 minutes ago. That's insane. Yeah, it is. And his acting in this, he was one of the ones that definitely is, like, heavily trying to do the, like, playing a crazy person. He needs to be on Scream Queens to get some acting coaching in. But like he's trying to play crazy. Yeah. And psycho. Yeah. He's like hugging her and is just like, thanks for being so nice, and then he like kills her, stabs her in the back. One thing I'll give this movie credit for, and I like its premise as far as like the ghosts, whatever. Like that's unique for sure. And the other thing that I actually think is pretty cool about this film, and it's something I'm always asking for, you never ever can guess who the like final person's gonna be in this movie. There is no main character. No. You have your main guy who bought the house, and you think he's gonna be the one who's our main character, him and his girlfriend. He's the first to die. So it's very, very cool. Yeah. That this movie has no main protagonist, and it is just like anyone. I never felt during any point of this film that a single character had plot armor or was safe from being killed off in the next scene. A++ for that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I had no idea who was gonna survive or not, because they all die off and very like, I thought it was gonna be the asshole for a second, Dawn. That guy, and nope, like he gets cut in half. The girlfriend of the guy that bought the house, she gets the scissors in her back, and then they bring in these two kids. I find it hilarious that Dawn has this weapon that he has on him, and he's like, I keep this around for protection in case something goes down.
Yeah.
And you would think that he's the tough guy in the group that wants to like boast that he's, you know, the apex predator and alpha of the room and whatever. He pulls out his weapon that he keeps for this specific moment. He's been waiting for this his whole life. He's been preparing. He's carried this machete around with him to protect himself if this ever happens.
Yeah.
Something crazy goes down. And then he hands it to Linda.
Yeah.
The meek blonde girl.
Yeah.
Who looks like a pacifist. And he's the guy that's like, I'm going to fuck shit up. I'll kill everybody, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's my machete.
My weapon that I'll be doing that with.
And then he's like, I'll take a lead pipe.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know.
This is the weirdest decision. It would be like, you know, Ash pulling out the boomstick.
Yeah.
And being like, I have this and I have a chainsaw. And then he hands it to like, you know, some characters in the movie that are like not, you know, aggressive, like tough guy characters.
Right.
It made no sense to me. Why are you giving this to Linda?
Yeah, it's super bizarre. I don't know.
He's like, here, Bobby Joe, take my fucking chainsaw. Like, what's she gonna do with it? You the one that needs the chainsaw, Ash.
Yes.
Like, it makes no sense that he gives it to Linda. I was like, of all the people in the room, you're gonna give it to her? Her?
I know. And of course she dies.
Never uses it.
She doesn't even use it.
I don't even think she has it on her in that scene.
I don't think
so. I'm
either.
like, what is the point of like even drawing attention to this weapon that you have?
Yeah.
To then just give it to a character that gets backstabbed by her boyfriend and she never even swings the fucking thing.
Right. Yeah.
It is such a bizarre choice to me.
It's really weird. I agree.
So I can't but that's kind of the funniest thing about the movie is that you can't predict anything in this movie. I will say
I mean, you can predict like once the people become like the ghosts or the demons or whatever.
The demons.
They act the same.
Yeah.
They all act like exactly the same. So
Yeah.
that's all very predictable, and it is just kind of the same thing over and over again. But you don't know necessarily who's gonna die next. Because and then like when they brought in like
people also feel pain, which is another weird
they like
thing.
get killed a second time.
That's another thing that's bizarre.
Like they can
I
fight
guess they
them.
can get their head cut off
because it's
once,
their bodies,
but not the second time.
Well, because
so
like the first time, like if what you're saying is like, you know, accurate, then you know like their souls leave their bodies and like a demon or whatever possesses them.
But they're like instantly
then they, like,
put back together.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then that only works once?
It only works once.
So if you get like
works the first
if you get chopped in half,
and then because it's like
you're immediately put back together. But then if they chop you in half again, you're just dead?
Exactly.
So you just get one refresh.
You only get one redo. That's it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, they all fight them, and when they bring those like kids in randomly, like the like very stylish shot of like the silhouettes of the kids with like the
that's cool.
The moon was very like unexpected and random. When they make
their decision to go there.
Yeah, and then they go in and they're trying to spy on the daughter ghost who's like, I'm surprised you got this far. Like normally my mom kills everyone, and there's no nudity.
Dude, this actually pissed me off. I haven't had a titty tease like this in a movie in a little while. They literally like have her, you know, walking around in her bra, and then the boys are all being distracted by her slowly undoing her top. And then she literally, after teasing it for like a minute straight, she starts to open it. And right as she opens it, just as you're about to see the tits, she goes boom, and it hard cuts to them getting killed. And then the next thing we just see, she's like, her bra's back on, she's putting her shirt on.
Yeah, she was
like,
just doing it to like distract them.
I get it, but in a slasher movie like this,
you would be the one that would be distracted and being
I would
killed
be.
by grandma.
I would be. But the consolation should be you see the tits before you go. No. Right?
They're punishing.
So
they're evil.
That's evil.
They're evil.
That's evil. The evil to them and evil to us, the audience.
Yeah.
The fact that they literally, she's opening her, this is the Kelly Meeker of Halloween 4. This is the, like, she's taking off her top, and I honestly wish no one would have ever told me this, but I recently just found out that Mustafa Akkad, I think is who it was, had them remove Kelly Meeker's nudity from Halloween 4. I mean, you angered an entire generation of horror fans. one of the most coveted shots that a young boy wanted in a horror movie was Kelly Meeker's tits. And it was there. They had him. And he was like, we don't want to be that lowbrow.
It's like, bro,
what the fuck are you talking
4.
about? In Halloween, we see Judith Myers
Yes.
and Linda's tits.
Yes.
When is this franchise ever shot? Nurse Karen?
Yeah.
Where we get a, like, close-up shot of her nipples for, like, a minute straight as she's getting in a hot tub with Bud. And all of a sudden, we're classy around here. But then they up the body count and they're cutting fucking people in half and they're killing freaking golden retrievers. Oh, but no, don't show the hot blonde's tits. No one wants to see that. They'll walk out of the theater and be like, that was a trash movie. But it's artsy because she kept her top on. Get the fuck out of here. Same thing with this. I know that it's a distraction, and she's just like, it is. It's supposed to be anticlimactic. You're supposed to be mad like they are. It's like, motherfucker, I didn't even get to see him before I died.
I know.
So that was a tit tease to end all tit teases. That was a Kelly Meeker level tit tease. I would be angry as well if I found out that these were cut from the film. Because if the actress agreed to do them, and you have the footage, and she didn't, like, say, like, no, I want it removed, or there was nothing behind the scenes, the producer comes in and is like, no, remove the tits. Yeah. We're going to have all this sensuality. We're going to build her up. We're going to put her in this fucking Cops Do It by the book. She's just wearing a t-shirt. She's literally got nothing on underneath. She's got tits bigger than the fucking moon. And you're not going to fucking throw them in the film when you have this sex scene and every guy's, like, sitting there, please, oh God, please. And they had them. They were there. And our whole childhood would have been different. But no. Mustafa Akkad, he wanted him for himself. That's what it is. He was like, no, cut him out of the film and send him to my fucking house.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Piece of shit. Mustafa Akkad. Glad he's dead. All right. What else have we got to say about this one? I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, outside of, he fights back against him. This dude does everything he can. He's got that magic touch, right? He's the one opening the doors, opening the toolboxes. He can't open the doors once they're locked forever, but he is the one who opens the door to get out of there, right? True. So he does have that magic touch. But oh damn, that extra character that was brought in for a bigger body count just so happened to get killed, and he's one of the ghosts, and a little hatchet to the head, hatchet for the honeymoon, and we're done.
It's a shame. He almost made it.
I like to believe that he ducked that shit and ran for the hills.
I hope so. Cause
we don't see it happen.
They can't chase him out of the house, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know. Can they leave the house? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, so, okay. Yeah,
so
we don't know he dies.
Maybe he lived.
He says, no, and then, it cuts to black. Anything could happen. I mean, it's like the ending of Halloween 3. Stop it! We don't know if he stops it. We don't know if they turn off the channel. We can always just wonder.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he made it.
Okay.
I know it's supposed to be implied that he died.
Yes.
Of course. I get that. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I liked him. I thought he was the only one there to me that felt like a redeemable character. He was always the level-headed one. He was always the one that was like zen about things. He was trying to do the right thing. He wasn't mean to anybody. He was always telling people, like, he was helping people out. He was trying to get people to focus. He never escalated things when he could have. He was tougher than anybody but never needed to show it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Don, the dickhead, never wanted to go up against him because he knew he'd kick his fucking ass. And he emasculated him, but he never meant to. He was just like, I'm cool. I'm just here to help. Like, I could kick your ass, but who cares? Like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help. So I liked him, and I want to believe that he got away. If he didn't, that sucks, but I never saw it, so I can fill in whatever fucking headcanon I want. And we saw that girl's tits.
Yes.
Stupid. Doses
and Gemons.
Gemons. What do you prefer? Doses? Is there... There's got to be a better combination of those two words to make a better word. They don't really go well
They
together.
don't.
They just don't.
Demons and ghosts.
They don't. Yeah.
I think we did a good
naturally.
job. Ghosts and demons.
These sounds like fucking animals.
Yeah, they do.
The ghost population around here is really dropping in numbers lately. We got to bring in the demons.
Yeah.
To level the playing field.
Exactly.
The demons. Stupid. All right, that's that. Thank you for the recommendation of Dead Dudes in the House, aka The House on Tombstone Hill, aka The Dead Come Home. Which of these titles do you prefer? Which one do you think?
Dose and Demons.
Yeah, Dose and Demons. Which one of these do you think suits the film best? If you had to pick one.
I kind of like The Dead Come Home.
The Dead Come Home?
I don't know if that really makes sense for the movie, but I like that one.
I think
like
The House on Tombstone
Dead Dudes
Hill.
in the House.
That makes no sense because there's women.
Yeah.
And they don't.
That makes me think like it's supposed to be. They're like, we're gonna just try and make it comedic.
Yeah, the title suggests comedy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The House on Tombstone Hill. It reminds me of The House by the Cemetery by Fulci. Right.
Yeah,
like
that one works too. That one's actually the most fitting for the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the best ring to it for me. So. That's the one I prefer.
Right.
What about you guys? Do you have a preference? Let us know. See you in the comments. Let us know if there's any other film.
Yeah. Maybe we'll watch it.
If you got something like Doom Asylum up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Or a good one. An actual good one would be a nice reprieve.
Yeah.
For us. Because not so bad it's good for once.
Like just a good one, like a real good slasher.
Yeah,
underrated good.
I can't remember the last time we found like a legitimate gem where a hidden gem.
Like the last one was the
like slasher film or just horror, like older horror film in general.
I thought you were talking about slasher.
I remember I know this was a while ago now, but the one that really blew me away that I had never seen and people talked about here and there was A Ghost Story, which I was like, oh man, this is like high level quality horror. Like I literally loved it. It was almost like a 10 for me. It was like a 9.5 or something. I was so high on it when I watched it. Like a legitimately fantastic horror film. And I feel like there's not a lot that I'm aware of left that are quality.
Right.
Yeah, it's fun. And I love watching bad slashers and making fun of them and being like, the guy on the ladder, that's so insane and so stupid. And there's so many stupid things in this movie. And they can be entertaining and they're fun to talk about. But I'd really like a genuinely good slasher from the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or the 70s or any fucking era that I somehow missed.
Yeah.
That I watch and I'm like, this was fucking great.
Right.
It was scary. It was really well put together. The music was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, is there one? There has to be. There's probably
sure.
There's probably 50.
Yeah.
That we haven't seen.
Yeah.
That are great. So throw them in the comment. If you have one that you think we have not covered or you think maybe we overlooked that you genuinely think is good, pressure's on. Let us know. We'll see you in the comments. Adios.
Bye.